I'm gonna let some people get up in here first. Welcome in, everybody. What's going on? We are back with episode 4 of the Elkhart Police Merit Commission, featuring Detective Joy Phillips and the Elkhart Police Department. How's it going, Famously?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm all right. I appreciate you helping me get this set up here and getting some more exposure on this fucking situation. This is just this is outrageous, man. Do you want to give a little recap of what's happened so far and what we got coming up on this video?
All right. Well, tonight we're going to be watching uh, the testimony of Sergeant Roundtree, Brandon Roundtree. He's the supervisor of detectives. I don't know if he's still in Elkhart, Indiana, Elkhart Police Department, City Police. As you'll be able to tell, I don't want to reveal too much, but let's do a little bit of backstory. This is the Joy Phillips hearings for Merit Commission. She's the one that refused to get a warrant for this property. So they used this excuse as an excuse to bring her in front of the Merit Commission, said she was insubordinate. There was a hostile work environment in the Elkhart Detective Bureau. It sounds like there's a hostile work environment throughout everything in governance in Elkhart as a whole in the county at this point, from what you guys have witnessed and what we are going to continue to witness. Probably until Christmas, we have enough content for that. I would say if it kept going that long, I don't want it to go that long, but that's exactly how bad it is. Mr. Roundtree is going to testify. He's being questioned by Joy Phillips' attorney, and if you remember, if you think back to like when Mr. Officer Van Scoik and Officer Young were at this scene. It was on the body camera or in the interview, that he had known the woman that was supervising the property, and she personally called him on the cell phone after he passed the building and said that he seen a car there and didn't turn around and go check it out. She called him. Then the person that was supervising the property ended up chasing this car. It flipped upside down. People were critically wounded. No charges arose out of the burglary, but it turned into a debacle, and exposure from within of the police department is what it's looking like. Officers recording each other. This has been going on for years. You know that there's other stories, wrongful convictions. It all ties in together with what I've been preaching for I don't know how long on my channel. And this is sworn testimony to those facts. Mr. Roundtree, it was found out, you'll see in his questioning, that he ends up being personally related in a personal relationship through being a city mentor with the person that supposedly owned the car. That hasn't been factual, and I'll just let it rip. Let's watch it, guys. Let's see the actions of our public servants right before our very eyes.
And quick little disclaimer before we do this. You guys watching the video, if you could just please pay attention to things that Leo Watcher is posting, things that Famously will post, things that I might post. Pay attention to the links and the information that's in the chat as well, because it all pertains to the video and the government actors that are in the video and are in cahoots with each other. Also, everything that is being shown here is fair use. And finally, neither myself, nor Famously, nor Leo Watcher feel like committing self-harm at any time, any day. So, with that being said, let's get into the video, guys.
Share it out.
Perhaps we could do him after a break.
Share this out there, guys.
I mean, unless Your Honor would prefer to continue.
We'll take a 10-minute break.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I think you pass forward.
Yeah.
You know what the
Yeah,
DA is.
yeah.
Sorry, you guys. We started right where we left off, so it was transparent.
Yeah, I didn't. All I did was hit pause when we ended the last live, and now we're just continuing it. So, just bear with me here.
After old Jimmy John's here, it's the old sub.
I'm a finger. Welcome in. Snarky, what's up, buddy? You may self-abuse later. Here, let me get. Yeah, it's about to start. I don't want to miss anything that's said. So we'll let it play from here. Looks like it's about to start.
Old Jimmy John. I don't know who Jimmy John is. There's no official title to that.
John Denicola, welcome in, brother. Appreciate you being here. James Forbes, Lenny Cottenham, Leo Watcher, thank you for the info, brother. Snarky, good to see you, man. Appreciate everybody coming in. Again, let's pay attention to what's going on in the chat. Links, info, it's all going to be there. I'll try and highlight the important stuff. If I don't highlight your comment, don't feel bad. I'm going to try to keep it relevant to the video. So I do see everybody coming in. I appreciate you all. Joko, I see you. I do see everybody coming in, but we're going to try and stick to the video here. So here we go, guys. Much love. They're about to swear him in.
Chair is now present, so we will continue with the next witness.
Your Honor, Joy Phillips would call Sergeant Roundtree.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give here will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming this afternoon, Sergeant. Could you state your full name for the record?
Brandon Keith Roundtree.
And how are you employed, sir?
I'm a sergeant of the Criminal Investigation Bureau for Juvenile and Sex Crimes. Been employed for 15 years.
Employed where?
Our City Police Department.
Sir, I'd like to take you to July 12th, 2022. Did you participate in an investigation of a potential burglary at the Bees 3 building at 1125 West Beardsley in Elkhart?
Yes.
At some point in the course of that investigation, did you decide that it would be helpful to have a search warrant for the interior, for the trunk of a gold Cadillac?
Talking about the day of the incident or a couple of days after?
Sir, you tell me. On that day, did you want a search warrant?
On the day of the incident, I was clearing a call regarding a runaway. I received a telephone call from Joy Phillips. She was kind of upset. She just had a telephone conversation with Sergeant Young. Her initial response was at first, do we assist on search warrants? And I stated to her, do we do search warrants? And I said, no, we assist uniforms with search warrants. She then proceeded to provide the details of what the conversation of her and Sergeant Young had over the telephone, at which she indicated that 2 vehicles got in a vehicle pursuit, at which from 1125 West Beardsley.
Sir, could I interrupt you? My question was simply, did you want a search? Did you
Not that
want a
day,
search
sir.
warrant?
It wasn't not that day. It was a couple days later, so that's why I'm saying please be specific on the days.
Okay. But at some point you decided that you would like to have a search warrant to obtain the contents of the trunk of the gold Cadillac. Is that correct?
Based off the content and the material that was in the vehicle during the course of the investigation between the 2 days, yes, I, as a supervisor, felt there was enough to obtain the search warrant on the vehicle.
Okay. Now, Joy Phillips was not the only person that you asked to do a search warrant, was she?
Yes, I think it was on, see, the incident happened on the 12th. I think 2 days later, I had a conversation with Captain Whitmire, at which he felt that if we would have responded initially on the day of the incident, that we would have had the search warrant completed on that vehicle on that day during that course of that time of the investigation, but he felt that we dropped the ball. So I went and asked Ronnie Barron to do the search warrant on the vehicle.
And just to be clear, did you ask Ronnie Barron to do the search warrant, or did you order Ronnie Barron to do the search warrant?
I pretty much ordered him to do it.
He didn't write the search warrant, did he?
No, eventually he didn't have to write the search warrant.
What was Detective Barron's response to you after you ordered him to write the search warrant?
Well, he agreed to do it. He wasn't very happy about it because he didn't know all details to the case.
And what did you, what was your reaction to the fact that Detective Barron was unhappy about having to write the search warrant?
I told him to do it and I'll assist him with it.
But he didn't write it, did he?
Eventually, later on down the line that day, no, he didn't have to write it.
And you also talked to Detective Clays about writing the search warrant, didn't you?
Detective Clays was working on, him and Rufino were working on some cell phones, search warrants for some cell phones that had nothing to do with this incident.
Credit goes out to Famously and Leo Watcher as well. They put hella
You
work into
consulted
this.
Detective Clays on this, on the search warrant for the gold Cadillac, didn't you?
As investigators, yes, we do talk about cases and get other opinions.
Okay. And what did Detective Clays tell you about the search warrant?
I do not recall our conversation. I felt as a supervisor that I had enough evidence there to obtain a search warrant.
Okay. If I were to tell you that Detective Clays states in his interview with Internal Affairs that he responded to you that in his professional opinion, there was not sufficient facts to establish probable cause to write the search warrant at the time you asked him, would you disagree with that?
I wouldn't say I disagree with that. It all depends on what information Detective Clays obtained at that time to come up with his conclusion.
And Detective Clays did not, in fact, write the search warrant, did he?
Detective Clays was never asked to write the search warrant.
Did he write the one for the cell phone?
That I don't know where the course of that investigation is at this moment.
Do you know if if Detective Clays wrote a search warrant for the cell phone?
You repeated the same question. I just advised I don't know where that is at. I don't know where the status of that is at in that investigation.
Now, you also asked Detective Barron to write the search warrant, didn't you?
Or
The interior of the gold Cadillac.
yes, Ronnie did agree to write the search warrant. At one point, Ronnie started to write the search warrant, but due to the fact that I knew the individual who the vehicle belonged to, myself and Captain Whitmire decided to go out to the apartment to get consent to search the vehicle that way without a search warrant.
And that was after everyone else declined to write the search warrant.
No, that is not true. Ronnie Barron was working on that search warrant when me and Captain Whitmire went out to the apartment.
Okay. So Barron told you that there wasn't sufficient information yet to establish probable cause to justify a search warrant.
What day are you talking about? Because this was 2 days later. The next day after the incident, Joy Phillips was going to each detective, giving her version of what she thought there wasn't sufficient information there to obtain the search warrant. So if he went based off of her statement, yeah, I could see him saying there wasn't enough there. But at that time, Detective Barron felt like there wasn't enough there. But like I told him, if you take the time and sit down, I can walk you through it.
Okay.
And that's why he agreed to do it.
On July 14th, which would be 2 days after the suspected burglary, Detective Barron told you that he did not believe that there were sufficient facts to establish probable cause for that search warrant, didn't he?
Yeah, there was still debate going back and forth, but detectives at the time, like I stated, they can have their own conclusion on what they felt. But there's been, I say at that time, this was probably the third or fourth incident of that established building being burglarized. So there was more information that I knew about it than what Ronnie did. Oh, Detective Barron, stop saying his first name. I'm sorry.
There are a lot of titles for people in this hearing. Sergeant, so on July 14th, Detective Barron told you that as of that date, he did not believe that sufficient facts existed to establish probable cause for the search warrant. Isn't that correct?
I believe that's inaccurate because even though if he felt like he didn't believe there was not enough there to obtain the search warrant, I assume that Detective Barron wouldn't have started the search warrant.
Okay. Well, he didn't complete it either.
No, because I got a consent of the search form signed by the owners of the vehicle, so we didn't need a search warrant.
Okay. But on that day, Detective Barron told you that he didn't think you had probable cause. I mean, that's true, isn't it?
Just because an individual believes that he don't think there's probable cause, that's his opinion.
Of course, but that was his considered judgment as a police officer and as a detective.
Yeah, I mean, all police officers and detectives debate.
Okay. And that was the same day, July 14th, that you asked or ordered Joy Phillips to write the search warrant, isn't it?
Yeah, I asked her to write the search warrant.
Did you ask her or did you order her?
I asked her to write the search warrant, and she said, no, it's worth a write-up.
Right. Was that, now you asked Joy Phillips to write that more than once, didn't you?
Yes, because myself and Captain Whitmire agree that due to that she was primary and Detective Payne was secondary, it should be their responsibility to do the search warrant. If we would have responded to the scene like we were supposed to in assisted uniform that day, based off of all the information that we obtained while we assessed the scene, we probably would have obtained a search warrant that day. So due to the fact that we felt like we dropped the ball, we felt like primary and secondary should be the ones to do it.
Okay. So the comment you referenced earlier about it's worth the write-up, that's something Joy Phillips said to you the second time you asked her or ordered her to write the search warrant, isn't it?
It possibly could be the second time if I do recall, but that was her expression.
Okay.
So
In fact, the first time you asked or ordered Joy Phillips to write the search warrant, she told you that she didn't think that probable cause existed to justify the search warrant.
stated twice that there wasn't. Both times she stated she didn't felt like there was PC to do the search warrant.
And she gave you an explanation that she didn't think that there were sufficient facts connecting the trunk of the gold Cadillac to an alleged burglary at the Bees 3 building.
Just like, well, I'll state it this way. She felt the same way maybe Detective Barron felt about there might not be enough PC there, but based on the information that I knew from previous cases being reported, I felt as the supervisor, there was enough to obtain the search warrant.
Okay. Why? So you could have written the search warrant.
I could have, but I'm their supervisor, and the ones that I supervise can write the search warrant.
Okay. To obtain a search warrant, a police officer has to write out a sworn statement in which he states not only the substantive facts of the incident, but a conclusion, in which the officer states, "I believe that there's probable cause that these facts constitute probable cause to believe that a crime has been committed," doesn't he?
State that again.
When an officer writes an affidavit for probable cause, he not only describes the facts, but he attests that these facts lead to probable cause that a crime has been committed, or that the subject of the search will have evidence of the crime.
Yeah, that's part of the
Okay.
reason to get the
Okay.
search warrant is that we believe that whatever we're going at it has evidence that supports that crime.
Okay.
Sometimes search warrants get denied, or sometimes search warrants get approved. It goes through a process. It goes to an attorney. From the attorney, it goes to the judge to sign off on it
Okay.
to see if the elements support it. If it doesn't support it, guess what? The search warrant gets denied.
Mm-hmm. But at the bottom of the search warrant, there's an attestation where the officer states, under penalty of perjury, I believe not only that these supporting facts are the facts of the case, but that these constitute probable cause that a crime is committed, and that the person to be searched or the place to be searched contains evidence of the crime. So the officer is attesting that he or she believes that there is probable cause. Isn't that true?
State that again, sir.
In an affidavit for probable cause, the officer testifies under penalty of perjury that he believes that probable cause exists.
I don't understand where probable cause come in a search warrant. Based on the search warrant that we do,
What the fuck did he just say? I don't see where probable cause comes in on a search warrant.
RAS, man, nothing. You have. Where is
Are you
the
fucking kidding me
education?
here?
You know, where all these cases, we need to review them right now.
Did you guys just hear that? Put a
He's
one in
the
the chat if you
supervisor.
caught what was just fucking said there.
He's the supervisor of the detective bureau.
He is the supervisor of the fucking detectives unit, and he doesn't see where fucking probable cause comes in when it relates to a fucking search warrant.
To get a warrant, to type up a warrant.
Like, really? guys, okay, and I'm gonna say this again just for the new people coming in. If people don't respond to you in the chat, like if we don't call you out or whatever, it's not that we're ignoring you or anything. We're just gonna let the video play here. We'll stop every now and then so we can chit chat and discuss it and point out different things. But this guy on the screen, this gentleman at the stand here, is the sergeant. He is a supervisor of the detectives unit that were investigating this alleged robbery. And he just, let's just back it up a little bit.
Wow.
Let's just back it up a minute. Listen, guys, listen.
The same way maybe Detective Barron felt, but there might
Listen.
not be enough PC there. But based on the information that I knew from previous cases being reported, I felt as the supervisor, there was enough to obtain a search warrant.
Okay. Why? So you could have written the search warrant.
I could have, but I'm their supervisor, and the ones that I supervise can write the search warrant.
Okay, so let's break this little section down here real quick, because he says a lot of stupid shit within a short amount of time. First of all, he says all the other detectives didn't feel comfortable in writing the search warrant out because they didn't believe there was probable cause. But this gentleman, Roundtree, felt that he had enough probable cause to write up the warrant. So what's he do? He doesn't want to put his name on it because all the other officers are denying that fact, and he disagrees with them. So he orders other people to write up a search warrant for something they don't believe in.
And a scene that he was already at. And the reason he didn't have them write the search warrant is because his personal relationship as a mentor to the victim of the crime. That's why he didn't want to put his name on it. That's the truth of it. Figure it out. Put two and two together.
It doesn't make no sense.
Crazy, isn't it? So he orders someone else to do it. Look at her. Look at her eyes right there. Looking at like.
She's like,
looking at
gotcha, bitch. Like, how this is. Let's just play it a little bit more.
Let's just, yeah.
To obtain a search warrant, a police officer has to write out a sworn statement in which he states not only the substantive facts of the incident, but a conclusion, in which the officer states, "I believe that there's probable cause that these facts constitute probable cause to believe that a crime has been committed." Doesn't he?
Say that again.
When an officer writes an affidavit for probable cause, he not only describes the facts, but he attests that these facts lead to probable cause that a crime has been committed, or that the subject of the search will have evidence of the crime.
Yeah, that's part of the
Okay.
reason to get the
Okay.
search warrant is that we believe that whatever we're going at it has evidence that supports that crime.
Okay.
Sometimes search warrants get denied, or sometimes search warrants get approved. It goes through a process. It goes to an attorney. From the attorney, it goes to the judge to sign off on it
Okay.
to see if the elements support it. If it doesn't support it, guess what? The search warrant gets denied.
Mm-hmm. But at the bottom of the search warrant, there's an attestation where the officer states, under penalty of perjury, I believe not only that these supporting facts are the facts of the case, but that these constitute probable cause.
Wait a minute. Let me address this. This right here, Midwest. Can you explain a little bit on this? And I'll address this real quick. The shirtless dad. Look at the top there. That's Detective Joy Phillips, right there on the right. That's her attorney, right next to her, and this is Sergeant Detective Roundtree.
And
I
behind
want
him
to,
is Councilman Hankey.
yeah, the guy over here in the pinkish whitish shirt with the bald head. This is a good ass dude from what I've seen so far. He's a councilman that just came in and destroyed him with only a few sentences. But I don't want to jump to conclusions. I want to see what Midwest is talking about here. I want to address this real quick.
Midwest. I see where he said it.
It's highlighted.
What? It's old. B don't care so much. What's that mean?
Yeah, that's why I want to address it real quick. Because everything that's in the fucking chat is relevant to what's going on right here. It's all the same actors, guys.
Yeah,
It's
you're dealing with.
all this.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I can update him a little bit. What you're dealing with is back to the 90s. The same officers that have worked throughout the department from the early 90s. I mean, further than that, it goes back decades. You have
Oh, there's his response.
Elkhart being they say the exoneration capital of the United States. So these cases have been coming back over and over again. When you read them appeals, well, some of these same detectives that are in the detective bureau are officers that have been promoted. I mean, there's been several instances in news articles that don't go in depth of anything, and that's what leads us to go down the rabbit hole of appeals, lawsuits, and everything else.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
one thing that was put into the chat, this guy right here, this Roundtree that is up there, he was convicted of drunk driving and got a promotion shortly after.
Right. And then the
So
Elkhart
that's,
police said they would handle it different if it was just a DUI.
yeah, they would handle it internally. Um, the whole point of showing the older information, I realize now, Midwest, you weren't talking about. There was his response to that, so he did clarify that, and that's cool. I understand
Yeah.
that. But the whole point of putting all the old information is you can see a track record of collusion and coercion and just blatant disrespect for the laws that are in place.
I can honestly say there has not been one professional public servant that has came up to that podium except Mr. Hankey, this councilman, and that attorney sitting right there defending Joy Phillips. Now, I'm not going to sit here and defend Joy Phillips because I don't know that she didn't violate a policy or maybe something else at this point.
Right.
But what's coming out in these hearings is concerning when your city attorney's asking the Red Act public meetings and hearings from the public, and then your prosecutor admits under oath that she called the city attorney and discussed not airing any of this to the public. That's why we're watching it today. Because guess what? It drew people's minds in as to, well, then why don't you want us to see it? So
Yep.
this is why.
And if you guys go back to, I'll give you the title of it. The title of the video, I want you guys to watch even just the first 30 minutes of episode 1, Elkhart, Indiana Police Merit Commission. In the first paragraph, the city attorney exact words were, we need to redact a whole bunch of this. We don't need the people seeing it. So guess what we're doing? We're getting the people to see it. That's why we're doing it, guys. You guys need to see this, whether you're from Elkhart or whether you're from Chicago. It don't matter where you're from. If this is going on in Elkhart and in South Bend and Mishawaka and Goshen and all these places, it's happening where you're at too. Pay attention to how they're doing it. Pay attention to links in the chat that can show you how to research in your area and do it too.
And pay attention to what law schools all these individuals went to as frat brothers and sisters.
Give me a second here. I'm gonna get a link, get shareable link. Okay, see if this works. I'm gonna post it in here. See if this works. Paste. I think this is the one. Someone check that. Make sure it's episode 1. No name. And here we go. Back to it, guys.
That a crime is committed and that the person to be searched or the place to be searched contains evidence of the crime. So the officer is attesting that he or she believes that there is probable cause. Isn't that true?
Say that again, sir.
In an
You're right,
affidavit
Midwest.
for probable cause, the officer testifies under penalty of perjury that he believes that probable cause exists.
I don't understand where probable cause come in a search warrant. Based on the search warrant that we do, we put in facts or elements of things that we obtain in an investigation
Mm-hmm.
to get into a vehicle or get into a building.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand where probable cause come into the effect of all that.
No name.
You're-
This one
you-
right here.
You don't understand that in order to obtain a search warrant, a police department needs probable cause, both that a crime has occurred and that the person or place to be searched has evidence of the crime?
All right, maybe I have a misunderstanding how you are speaking things because it seems like you kind of go around. Yes, you have to have probable cause of a crime being committed, but during the course of having that probable cause, you might have to obtain the search warrant to get into a suitcase or maybe get into a vehicle, or
Mhm.
maybe you might need a search warrant to go into a residence. But you have to have facts to support that to go into that building or vehicle or suitcase. Is that where you're going with it?
And sir, this isn't a trick question. I'm simply asking, when an officer signs an affidavit for probable cause, doesn't he attest that probable cause exists?
Yes, they do.
So a police officer who doesn't believe that probable cause exists, and in fact, uh, uh, is come to the conclusion that based on the facts known to date, probable cause does not exist. If that officer were to sign an affidavit for probable cause, he would be committing perjury.
Definitely, yeah, how you put it, but that's, like I said, that's based on the officer's own opinion, if they believe that there's not a PC there.
Um, so, how many detectives did you ask at some point to write the search warrant for the gold Cadillac?
3,
And none of them wrote it.
like I stated, during the course when Detective Barron started writing the search warrant, myself and Captain Whitmire went to the apartment of the individual and we got a consent to search form signed, at which, at that time, we did not need to obtain the search warrant.
But Joy Phillips was not the only person who declined to write that search warrant, was she?
To my knowledge, Detective Barron agreed to write it. Detective Payne agreed to write it. Detective Phillips is the one that chose not to write it. And let me elaborate on that.
So 2 other people were agreeing to write it. Why are they giving her such a hard time? It doesn't take 3 fucking officers to write a fucking affidavit of facts for a fucking probable cause warrant. Wow.
Detective Payne's the original first individual that decided that he would write the search warrant. Due to the fact that Detective Barron felt bad for Detective Payne because he had an interview later on that day that he had to do, so he didn't have enough time. So Detective Barron was being a good co-worker and decided to start the search warrant for Detective Payne. But like I stated, due to the fact that we got a consent to search form, we did not need a search warrant.
How long does it take to write a search warrant?
It depends.
Detective Clays told you that he didn't think probable cause existed for that search warrant based on the facts known at that time, didn't he?
Once again, sir, we're going based off an individual officer's opinion that probably doesn't have all the information regarding that investigation. So yes, he can believe that there's not enough PC, but he probably didn't have all the factual information regarding that investigation.
And Detective Barron told you that there wasn't probable cause.
Exactly,
Detective Barron
Snarky.
did not have knowledge of the investigation, but as I stated before, I advised Detective Barron that I would assist him with the search warrant to give him the information due to the fact that I was the sergeant that responded on the scene and was able to obtain information. And two, I was the one that observed, like I said, this was probably like the third incident that we had from that address that I had knowledge of it. Detective Janice was the original investigator that was looking into that address from the past two incidents that we had.
And Detective Phillips told you that there wasn't probable cause at the time you asked her.
Once again, that's the officer's opinion. She felt that there was enough PC. That's her opinion. But like I stated, Detective Phillips probably didn't have all the factual information that I had in regards to obtaining a search warrant. If she would have cooperated with me, she probably would have been able to obtain that information.
So 3 detectives were asked at some point to write the search warrant and told you that there wasn't probable cause, but only Detective Phillips was disciplined.
Sir, that's an inaccurate statement.
Hey,
Like I stated,
Midwest.
Detective Payne agreed to write the search warrant.
Yeah, buddy.
So here you go. He's stating that she wouldn't cooperate with him, which I
Just comply.
translate that conspire with me.
Yep. Let's coerce these people.
To defraud the courts, the government of the United States, in an official
And
proceeding.
let's conspire against the will of the people and their rights. Yeah.
But I had the knowledge. She just didn't want to conspire with me. Well,
I had the knowledge, and I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy to write the report myself. So I want you to write it with my knowledge.
Right. Now, I mean, he's justifying it by saying that he went out there and talked to his buddy to get consent to search the vehicle. But he's also saying, well, we didn't need the search warrant. Well, if you didn't need the damn search warrant, then why are we at these hearings?
Yeah, why'd you write her up anyway if you ended up not needing that search warrant?
As a tax-paying citizen and anybody that knows, like even if you're an attorney, you know how many attorneys are asking, why in the hell would you have this hearing and embarrass your whole city like this? Is it worth
This
it?
is, like John says, this is super scary, guys. Like they're like you said the last couple of streams, this is the snake eating its own ass, its own tail right now.
That's right.
They are literally trying to destroy one of their own for simply not complying to a bullshit order.
That's right.
Like, this is the shit they do to us, and now we can show them doing it to each other. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just us they do it to. They do it to everybody because that power gets to their fucking head. I was a sergeant. I was in charge, and I told them to do it, and they didn't. So we're going to destroy your life.
Right, or I'll write
exactly
you up for
what they're doing.
I'll write you up for insubordination.
Even though we didn't end up needing what I ordered you to do, we're going to go ahead and fucking do it anyway.
Right. I'll go ahead and just take a blowtorch to the whole department because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and I think who was
Let's
it?
do it under oath. Let's do it under oath. Let's. This is a kangaroo
Claiborne.
shit.
Claiborne said it pretty good right here. I just highlighted it. Yep.
Well, I mean, they've been afraid of her because she's outspoken. She came from South Bend. She,
Right. Well, that's why she. That's why they're
speaks up.
setting her up, because they're afraid.
Well, I mean, I think that's your right. I mean, these people are, we forget, like us, we don't have a union backing us up. We don't have a fraternity organization backing us up. These people have immunity, all kinds of shit that protect them. So it's sickening what goes on in the Elkhart Police Department. It makes you wonder who's really in charge. If the chief and assistant chief and all these people have testified, it was the chief, the assistant chief, the lieutenant of the Office of Professional Standards. He took the fifth. There's another detective that supposedly had, it was under oath, he had porn on one of his phones in the office or something. I don't know. No, like I said, nobody that's been brought up to that podium has been professional, or, in my opinion,
No, it's a fact, because you know why? And I don't mean to interrupt you here, but it's a fact, because everyone that has gone up to that podium right there, other than the councilman in the back, is under investigation, guys.
That's right, by the state police.
The only person that's been up on that stand that is not under investigation is the councilman directly behind Roundtree, that's leaning on the back of the chair. It's the only gentleman that's been up on that podium that's not under a current active investigation, guys.
That's the
Let
former
that sink
police
in.
chief, the current prosecutor that's elected of Elkhart County, the assistant police chief, the lieutenant who is in charge of the Office of Professional Standards inside the police department, and other captains and detectives that held her against her will inside of a room. And then they lied under oath and said, oh, she could have left anytime she wanted. But when I watched the video, there was a dude twice her size and a foot in front of the door. So
240-pound man. Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
try to get in an argument with the old lady and do that one time. See what happens to you.
Yep.
State will pick
Hey,
your
Topher Life.
charges up.
All right, let's get back to the video, guys. This is.
Yeah.
Oh man, here we go.
Warrant. Detective Barron assisted Detective Payne with the search warrant. Detective Phillips is the one who stated no.
Did you give Detective Phillips the opportunity to write it later after more information was uncovered?
Sir, this was 2 days later. I was battling and trying to find an individual that'd be willing to type the search warrant, at which, like I stated, Detective Barron and Detective Payne agreed to do it. It was mine and Captain Whitmire's decision to go out there and make contact with the victim due to the fact that I had a relationship with the individual. And like I stated, at that time, we was able to obtain a consent to search form that was signed by the victim and his girlfriend. So we did not need the search warrant. The search warrant is irrelevant after the consent of search form got signed.
My question is simply, did you give Joy Phillips the opportunity to investigate further and perhaps answer fill in some of the blanks that she thought were missing in probable cause?
I think 2 days is sufficient, but when it comes to on-call CID, just because you get called in to assist in an investigation doesn't technically mean you get assigned that case.
Just reiterate, if Detective Barron testified to IA that he told you there wasn't sufficient probable cause, would he be mistaken?
No, because Detective Barron did feel that there was not enough PC there to type the search warrant. I did not say that he felt there was enough. He did state that to me, but he still agreed to do the search warrant.
I believe you testified earlier that ultimately the search warrant was unnecessary because the owner consented to the search.
Yes, sir.
Was the person who consented, Mr. Grant, in fact the owner of the Cadillac?
Yes, I actually know Mr. Grant. Mr. Grant is one of the young boys that I've mentored and talked to through the Elkhart Community Schools. He stated that that was his vehicle. He just purchased it not too long ago and hasn't took the time to get it registered.
I can say this guy does a hell of a job mentoring fucking kids.
Well, yeah, exactly. But here's the thing: the attorney asked him a question that might have been yes or no, and then this, he just
He just blew it off.
volunteers information. Like this makes me question the tactics of these detectives, these wrongful convictions and everything. Like where do you come up with this shit? Like if it was me or you in the investigative bureau and this guy was questioning me, I would. I mean, I'd probably inform him that my client, as a pro se litigant, is not inclined to answer questions. But at the same time, I would make him feel like the piece of shit he is, and I'll get to him with the camera later, guys. We'll take care of it here, but we'll get out there with the camera and see how they act real soon. So
This is, yeah, Buzz, we already know this is Indiana as a whole. This is the United States as a whole. Yes, for public safety is dealing with the same kind of shit, but it's everywhere. It's nationwide, Buzz.
well, for public safety's in Clark County, he's on the Indiana Kentucky line. We're in
Yep.
Elkhart County on the Indiana Michigan line, so it tells you how far
And
the corruption goes in
pretty
Indiana.
close to Illinois.
Yeah. I mean, the corruption over there towards you is Delphi, Kokomo. It's everywhere. There's no accountability. I mean, this is what's going on in our country as a whole, but at the same time, you know how hard it is to get an appeal. You know how hard it is to file a post-conviction relief once you gave false testimony when you're mentally handicapped. 17 years it takes for you to get out of prison. Ask Andrew Royer. Ask Ira Siebold, Max Sims, Keith Cooper. I mean, there's tons of cases coming back. There's another one coming back that just was recently. I forget the name of the case, Leon or something. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, this is
Elkhart,
this is unreal.
Yeah.
This is unreal. Yeah. This guy works with kids. He mentors kids. And one of the kids that he's mentored throughout his entire school career is now one that just ran from this lady who wasn't a cop, who is the daughter of this guy that owns his fucking property, who is in fucking federal prison and is a fucking, yeah. And wrecked his car. This kid drove 100 miles an hour and wrecked into somebody else's house.
Well, when you listen here, listen closely. Coming up, he knows the kid a lot better than that. And that's what the attorney's going into. You'll see.
Oh, here we go, guys.
Did you have proof that he's the registered owner?
He might have had a bill of sale or something inside the vehicle, but on the back end, the vehicle was not registered as stolen. People, I don't recall who, but somebody made contact of the old registered B&V return through NCIC IDAX, and they stated that they didn't own the vehicle no more. So the information that he provided, I had good belief that that was his vehicle.
But you discovered that he was not the registered owner.
He hadn't had time to get the vehicle registered through the BMV. It was the person-to-person purchase. It didn't go through a dealership.
Did you know if Mr. Grant had insurance on the car?
I wasn't concerned about the insurance on the vehicle at that time, sir.
If there's a report that a female owned the had insurance on the car. Would that be accurate?
I cannot recall that.
Boy, he's got a lot of
Why
information
was
that
it reported that the owner lives in Indianapolis?
That was the last registered owner. Once again, Mr. Grant advised me that he just purchased the vehicle.
When Detective Phillips told you that she thought that writing a search warrant based on the information available at that time would be illegal or unethical, how did you respond to her?
That's her opinion. I do not recall the conversation, but that's her opinion. I didn't respond to her in a negative, belligerent way, but like I said, detectives and officer expressed how they feel about doing something. She felt there wasn't enough PC and she expressed it. There's no wrong answer to that.
Did you question why she believed that the search warrant would violate the Fourth Amendment?
Restate that again.
Did you ask her, why do you think writing the search amendment would violate the Fourth Amendment?
I never asked her that. I was trying to provide the facts of the investigation and the reason why we do have enough there to obtain the search warrant, but she kept rebutting against me and refused to do it.
You mentioned that you had a prior history with the driver of the Cadillac. What was that history?
Just me being an Elkhart native, working in the community. I know Tristan Grant from the Elkhart Community Schools. I used to work in the schools as a security officer, also a coach for the Elkhart community.
Didn't he also crash into your squad car?
Yeah.
You can't make this shit up, dude. I swear to God.
oh
You can't.
my
You guys-
God.
Oh my God. Yeah. So basically, oh my God.
Wow. I got nothing. Let's just play it.
There a policy on when reports must be written?
When it comes to back in the detective bureau, investigations can take 3 to 6 months. I'll back that up. For like juvenile cases, sometimes it could take less than 30 days. But with
Okay,
adult investigation, with any investigation,
Mr. Grant, did you question why she believed that the search warrant would violate the Fourth Amendment?
restate that again.
Did you ask her, why do you think writing the search amendment would violate the Fourth Amendment?
I never asked her that. I was trying to provide the facts of the investigation and the reason why we do have enough there to obtain the search warrant, but she kept rebutting against me and refused to do it.
You mentioned that you had a prior history with the driver of the Cadillac. What was that history?
Just me being an Elkhart native, working in the community. I know Tristan Grant from the Elkhart Community Schools. I used to work in the schools as a security officer, also a coach for the Elkhart community.
Didn't he also crash into your squad car?
Yeah.
The look on her face.
Is there a policy on when reports must be written?
When it comes to back in the detective bureau, investigations can take 3 to 6 months. I'll back that up. For like juvenile cases, sometimes it could take less than 30 days. But with adult investigation, with any investigation, it can go 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, 6 to 9 months, 9 to 12 months.
Pause it there a minute.
I mean, there is no actual time.
Did you hear what he just said?
No, I missed it.
With juvenile cases, investigations can be over pretty quickly in 30 days. That's pretty fast. I mean, any case could, hell, there's still unsolved murders from all these wrongful convictions. They ain't investigating. The mayor
Yeah.
that appoints the chief said it's not his job. So you're saying that you're just within 30 days you'll have the juvenile cases thrown over to the juvenile court. Well, a lot of people don't realize that juvenile and family and children cases are confidential. We don't get any proceedings or anything disclosed in much of that. And to hear a detective say, "Oh, juvenile cases are usually like 30 days. We just round their ass up and throw them in the courts."
Yep.
He's revealing
Push them in and
a
out.
lot. He's revealing. They've revealed a lot,
And don't even realize it.
they don't realize it. In our local media and law scholars and everybody else are just, they're just poking their head in the sand, hiding from it.
Why are we the only ones that are fucking pushing this narrative out there?
Well, I mean, we're passing the torch of freedom. I mean, if they ain't gonna carry the son of a bitch, we are.
Goddamn right.
Right.
You get tired, I'll carry it. Fuck it.
That's right. And we got many other people in this chat and all through this community. They'll surely carry that son of a bitch with no problem. So that's
You
why
guys
we're here.
clip any portion of these videos, share this out there, make shorts, share it to your community tab, mirror it, put it on your channel. Let's get this out there, please. If you can contact people that will do a video on it and contact me or famously or anybody, get a hold of them. Share this out there. This is important. Let's go back to it. Oh, and again, this is all fair use, and I don't want to unalive myself, and neither does famously or Leo Watcher. Back to the video.
Table when it comes to documentation and investigation. You got some guys back in the detective bureau that like to transcribe their stuff, and you know it, getting them transcribed, or you trying to transcribe stuff word for word, it takes a long time to do such thing.
Well, on the juvenile cases, they know that, you know, if they fuck up, hopefully it'll be too late by the time people fucking realize it, and it'll already be expunged, and it'll be like it never happened anyway.
Yeah, because they're friends over at Oaklawn and CAPS and all these programs they put parents through for monetization of the courts. Courts for profit is what it is. They'll let them deal with the kids. You know, it's just like, oh, we adjudicated the child a delinquent. Now we'll declare them a child in need of services case, TINS case, and then we'll just get a guardian ad litem involved and charge the same. You know what? That's one thing I want to bring up. Elkhart County, Judge Bonfiglio used the same guardian ad litem. Judge Bonfiglio admitted in his own testimony, in his own written statement, that he has oversaw every single family and children case, since 1986. The same guardian ad litem, Mary Ratz, Raatz. It's a dirty game, and we're not in it. We're not in that country club, that's for sure. What George Carlin say? It's a big country club, and we ain't in it, buddy.
That's right.
The chief even out. He had a tea time for it.
All these are on my channel. All of these are the last today and the last 3 vibes. They're all on my channel, buddy. You're more than welcome to share them, man. This is what we're doing right here. I don't know about this Nye whatever. This whatever. Let's go back to it. Or did you have something else?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I'm just watching along.
All right, let's get it.
It takes a long time to prepare a report. Aren't you supposed to submit an IP, an investigative progress?
Yes.
You do that in the with regards to the Bees 3 investigation?
Oh, with regards to Bees, you talking about the Bees 3 investigation? Yeah, I did my IMVP and my supplement to the case. I believe it was roughly around October, but the evidence and everything with the consent to search form, all the thing that was pertinent to that investigation was submitted into our evidence the next following day on the 15th. Given the fact that I had the evidence vouchers with the outline of the evidence, I felt that I can do my supplement to that case on a later date.
Why did you date your report for July 14th, 2022?
Because that was the day of the incident when it happened, sir. That's the day that when we conducted the search of the vehicle.
Okay.
That's why it's time stamped on that form on the very bottom that has my initial round, bruh, 10/5 of 2022. It doesn't say July 14th.
I'm going to, this is part of Exhibit 8. I'm going to show you a portion of Phillips Exhibit 8.
Yes.
You guys remember, this is video that they didn't want any of us to see. They did not want us to see this shit. They wanted all of this redacted.
For the
So
obvious
to me,
reason.
well, yeah, it's obvious now after being into it 10 hours. So what I'm going to say to you guys is share the fuck out of this. Because that's the exact reason why you should, because they didn't want it seen.
Yep, that's
Back to
exactly
it.
right.
Okay. Aren't those dates different? That one's July 12th, which is the date of the incident, not the date of the report.
And this is Detective Yules. This is not my stuff.
Aren't those all supplementals?
There are supplementals to the case, but where's my supplement to the case? Thank you. Like I stated, the date and time I put is 7/14 is the date of the incident. But like I stated on the very bottom of my timestamp, where we hit Control T, it will timestamp the time that we typed this narrative. It says October 5th of 2022. That is the time that I completed my supplement to that investigation. But the evidence that I collected on July 14th, which is in that narrative, you will see on
Claiborne, this is probably the same cop she sued South Bend. She was formerly with South Bend, Indiana. I think she was there, 14 years?
Leo Watcher posted all them links last night.
Well, Claiborne wasn't in here last night. I'm just trying to respond to him. Claiborne, she this is the Phillips that sued another department, and I do believe that's the exact same one you're talking about. It's her right there, and I do believe it was South Bend, Indiana. She sued. That's her. That's him. That's them, right there.
on the evidence voucher that it was submitted on July 15th. I did not do the supplement report to this until a later date. because I had supervisory responsibilities and other investigations. So you know what? I set it aside due to the fact that I had the voucher.
You hand keyed in the time, didn't you?
Say what?
You hand keyed in the time, the
State-
timestamp.
Stated that?
You hand keyed in the date and time.
Yes, I put in 7/14, but the timestamp at the bottom is accurate. I put in 7/14, the day of the incident, when we conducted the search of that vehicle and the items that were removed from that vehicle. You want this back?
Yes,
There you go.
please. But that is not how you're trained to do it. You're not supposed to manually timestamp the date of the report. That creates the impression that you wrote it earlier than you did.
No, actually, I put the timestamp at the bottom. It never shows the time that I completed it. The top box is the date and the time of the incident. The timestamp and the narrative, which right there, that it says October 5th, is the time that I completed it.
So you did it at midnight because the time indicates 000000.
Once again, sir, that could have been a typo error, but if you look at the bottom of the timestamp on this one states 10/5/2022 at 16:28.
So you have no explanation of why, although the date is entered, the time is 000000.
That's inaccurate. Like I said, that could be an error. But if you look at the timestamp on the bottom, both supplements were completed on October 5th.
As a supervisor, don't you have some duty to ensure that the time record of a document is accurate?
Yeah, but sometimes supervisors make mistakes. There's no such thing as perfection, sir. So that's a mistake on my end. I don't have a problem holding myself accountable for that.
And you are your own supervisor, aren't you?
No, I do have two other supervisors. I have a lieutenant and I have a captain.
Well, according to the report, you're listed here as both investigator and supervisor.
Yeah, we can approve our supplements and we approve our own supplements. Sometimes if the sergeant sees it in the system, they'll approve it for us, or the lieutenant or captain.
Can you show us a copy of what supplements you're talking to? We're lost over here.
Famously, what link you need, brother? I posted in the back chat. Is that what you need? Of what the video that's playing or what? Oh, never mind. Never mind. Sorry, bro. My bad, bro. I thought you meant of the video that was playing, not this.
I'm back. I'm just. Some people don't know you're online and they just blow your phone up.
It's all good.
All right. I had it on Do Not Disturb. I don't know how that should happen.
It's all good. We're back. Let's get back to it. This guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing at all. He is. Here we go.
Has any of this been entered into evidence?
They're in our exhibits 8 and 9.
Can you tell us what page on 8 and 9?
Have them now, so I apologize, but I can't see from there.
Oh,
And the city attorney is like,
I
oh,
also
she's an
couldn't tell you because
do what?
the city attorney is just a fucking embarrassment, dude.
Absolutely.
She got so much shit crammed packed into her LinkedIn account and all her experiences. She shouldn't be as stupid as she is. That's for sure.
That's pretty sad, really.
Yeah. Like, I was over here and over here and over there. Well, I can tell why you was over here and over here and over there. You're fucking stupid.
Probably fucking learn from the prosecuting attorney.
Yeah, probably.
Going.
Yep. Yep.
Here we go. We got a little bit further to go here. This idiot doesn't just.
of the redacted version you gave us, it doesn't have any names of the people who authored the supplemental, so I wasn't able to figure out who correlates with whom.
But where did you get these then?
I printed them.
Oh, so there are more documents that were stolen in violation of policy?
Well, I am a whistleblower, so.
Damn.
I'll just say that exhibits 8 and 9 do not.
It's not stolen. I'm a whistleblower, bitch. There's a difference. Oh, I love it. Fucking brilliant.
Have what they're referring to, so I don't know what they're referring to.
It's exhibits 8 and 9.
There's
not
nothing
10.
by Roundtree in 8 or 9.
They're indicative to the report header, and that's what it states in Exhibit 8 and 9, the case number. And these have the case number on them. Just like I stated earlier, we didn't get everything in discovery.
Focus on lawyers asking questions and witnesses answering questions.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm going to resume the direct. Yeah. Sergeant, in your interview with Internal Affairs Lieutenant Rathel on December 6th, 2022, you stated that the only possible reason that Detective Phillips could have refused to write the search warrant was because, quote, she didn't know much about this and didn't give herself time to understand what was going on to obtain that information, that they could obtain a search warrant. Is that a correct quotation of your testimony?
That is accurate. Due to the lack of her cooperation, she didn't give herself enough time to obtain the information that is needed to obtain the search warrant. Yes.
So your statement implies that you did not have enough time or information at the time and would need to conduct more investigation to find evidence to lawfully write the warrant. So aren't you suggesting that, aren't you acknowledging that Detective Phillips was right? There wasn't probable cause at the time that you asked her to write it?
Well, if I'm not cooperative and I'm being subordinate, I wouldn't have the information or the information that is needed to write a search warrant. So she wouldn't have the information because she was being uncooperative.
No. But you were ordering her to write that search warrant immediately, weren't you?
Yes, and she did not write the search
Okay.
warrant.
You didn't tell her, go complete the investigation, then write the search warrant. You told her to write the search warrant then and there.
Sir, it was 2 days later. I had the information. I would have assisted her with the search warrant, but due to her cooperation, due to her not cooperating with me, she made it difficult. I don't have time to go back and forth and debate with an officer when I have victims that we're trying to give them a conclusion to a possible crime that's being committed. So she stated no. I resulted to the next individual, at which Detective Barron stated yes.
So you gave her an order, and if she thought that was unethical, she had no choice but to refuse it.
That was her decision.
Yeah. And isn't that her right if she believes that the order is unethical or illegal?
Yes, but her decision came based off of not cooperating.
Um,
Yes, Buzz.
Sergeant, did you tell Lieutenant Rathel that you feel that Detective Phillips, that quote, Detective Phillips was dishonest about the whole entire hearing? Detective Phillips twisted the facts in the book of lies she came up with. That being dishonest and twisting fact is problematic behavior for an officer. That integrity is everything, and if you don't have integrity, you are dishonest about everything. This is not the field for you. You further for you. You further stated that Detective Phillips lied to you in January. Unfortunately, you didn't document it or write her up in this incident. That you told. I'm sorry. And you told Rafael that she lied and twisted facts to make the situation be favorable towards her. Once again, she twisted the facts that Sergeant Young provided to make it favorable for her side. She lied to him again. She took her own assumptions and tried to spin it in a way that didn't have enough for a search warrant, end quote. Is that an accurate recitation of what you told Lieutenant Rathel?
You bunched a lot in that statement. Can you restate what you stated again, please?
Okay, where?
This will be our exhibit number 11. It was given to us by the city. That is going to be the audio recording. The transcription is going to be on the city side. If you need that, I can get the number for you.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, you don't need to play it.
All right.
Where do you want me to start from?
You don't need to read it, sir. I just want you to see if that's your statement and that this is what you told Lieutenant Rathel.
So if we were talking about the portion when it came to the on-call, yes, I believe that Detective Phillips and her statement that she told me over the telephone was a result of her not going in the first initial conversation.
Right. I'm actually referring to when you counseled Detective Phillips in January 22.
Oh, you regarding the other call-in incident with Detective Running, is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
All right. So let's be clear. I just became a sergeant September prior to that new year. You want me to elaborate on that?
Yes, please.
So that morning, I wake up at about 4 a.m. to go to the gym. I noticed on my cell phone that I had a missed call from dispatch and Runyon. I called dispatch. Dispatch advised me that they try to contact primary on call, which is Detective Phillips, and they tried to call her twice, but she didn't pick up. They then stated that they called Detective Runyon, which Runyon was asked to come in to assist on the search warrant with Patrolman KCI Negro. During that time, I received information from Detective Phillips stating, she goes, "Hey, can I get a laid in because I came in with Detective Runyon to assist on the search warrant." I thought that was kind of odd at that time because when I spoke to Detective Runyon over the phone after getting off the phone with dispatch, Detective Runyon never mentioned anything about Detective Phillips coming in. So when I came into work, I asked Detective Runyon if Detective Phillips came in and assist the search warrant. He stated no, she came in towards the end when he was getting ready to leave to go home. I did not know how to handle that situation as due to the fact of me being a new supervisor. So I was waiting for, at that time, Lieutenant Tweedy, well, I don't think he was promoted at that time, maybe Sergeant or Lieutenant Tweedy at that time, or Captain Price to get into work. Captain Price showed up and I explained the situation to him. He told me to bring Detective Phillips into my office to talk about the situation, which to me, would consider a counsel, but it did not constitute a write-up in RMS or benchmark.
Sir, were you aware that Detective Phillips provided to City Legal and Discovery audio of the meeting with you on January 7th, 2022?
Of her recording the conversation?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sir, I'm going to read you the accusation, and this is which is this is from the initial charges prior to the amendment, and in Exhibit 56 on page 13. On January 7th,
What are we reading? Just to be clear.
Exhibit 56, page 13.
I don't, that's Vicky Becker's letter.
All the,
It's the original charge, not
the amending letter from March 27th.
the charging letter.
The original charging letter. I don't have a copy of that.
Sounds like you ain't doing your job,
We
bish.
received it from you.
Right, but we amended the charging letter, so I don't carry a copy of the original around.
Well, I'm going to read the relevant portion into the record.
What's that, bud?
The city attorney is admitting that she came unprepared for this meeting today, Your Honor.
Yes.
I'd like to let the record reflect that. Thank you.
Oh, it's my paper. I sent it to you, but I didn't keep a copy of it. Therefore, I don't know how to do my damn job. This is unbelievable, bro.
It ain't over yet, bro. We're still halfway through,
Oh, I know. We're only about halfway through. I know. I'm excited.
I have plenty more stuff too.
Oh God. We're gonna keep doing them. I don't care if there's 1 or fucking 1,000 people in chat when we do them. We're gonna do them. It needs to get out there.
Download Speechify, you guys, or an app like that turns a PDF file or what you copy and paste into a voice, and you can make videos of certain cases that you find, and then let it read over in a voice, and it'll disseminate information. That's another good way too.
There you go, guys. Giving you the information. Giving you the know-how to do this yourselves. Everybody should be doing this. Shouldn't be up on a panel talking about who likes whose fucking cat or dog or lizard or any of that shit. This is what we should be doing.
Exactly.
No, I don't think you need to display it. On January 7th, 2022, you were counseled by Sergeant Roundtree regarding telling the truth. Sergeant Roundtree reports that on January 7th, 2022, you contacted him and said you helped with a search warrant for midnight shift and came into the department and asked if you could use the call-in time to be an early workday. Sergeant Roundtree advised you that it would be okay. Once Sergeant Roundtree arrived to work, he spoke to Detective Runyon about the on-call. He asked Detective Runyon if you assisted the midnight shift. Detective Runyon stated no. Detective Runyon stated you arrived after the completion of the search warrant. Detective Runyon said that he went home when you arrived at the Elkhart Police Department. Detective Runyon stated that dispatch attempted to contact primary on-call, yourself, twice, but got no answer. Captain Price advised Sergeant Roundtree to talk or counsel you about the on-call. Sergeant Roundtree advised you that Detective Runyon stated you didn't respond to the on-call for assistance with writing a search warrant. Sergeant Roundtree advised you lying about coming in and assisting Detective Runyon on the search warrant was not acceptable. Sergeant Roundtree advised you that coming in early after missing an on-call is unacceptable. You informed Sergeant Roundtree that midnight shift had another incident in which you assisted. It was unclear what incident because it was confirmed midnight did not have another incident. You were warned about lying and not making the same mistake. Do you recall that accusation, sir?
Yes, I do recall that conversation.
Okay. Could you please play Phillips Exhibit 41?
What's up?
All right, so listen, after speaking with so I'm trying to figure out everything that was going on this morning.
Yeah.
So calling.
Yeah.
Bird.
I figured it out.
Hold on one second.
Go ahead.
So I know dispatch called you twice and said your
No,
phone.
they called me one time.
Okay.
They didn't call my work phone. They called my cell phone. My watch was in sleep mode, and so it connects to my phone. And it's a sleep study that it's a new phone. It's a new iWatch, so I didn't know how to. But it like shuts my phone down where no one can contact me. And I didn't know that until I got here. So I woke up, my phone, I see I missed a call. I called dispatch, and they're like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, well, okay, I missed the call. Like, like, who's in charge? I don't really know. I've been working fire all night. I've been working on the police side. I said, okay, what supervisors are working? So I get up, I start getting dressed, right? And I said, is Ryan like working? She told me that she called Ryan, and she's like, no, he's not on. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, shoot, then, I need to talk to somebody to see what happened because they called Runyon.
Right.
I call Lee. Lee's like, Ryan's on the phone, talking to him right now. He's working on a search warrant. I said, okay, well.
Casey and Negro.
Oh, he didn't say who. He didn't say who he was working with. And so I'm like, well, shoot, okay. I feel horrible because it's Runyon and I'm primary. So I get up, get dressed, and I shut the door. I tell Brooks, have Runyon call me. Well, he doesn't call me. I make it all the way in here. It's about 11-minute drive. I make it in here, and I talked to Runyon in the sergeant's office, and he said that Negro was had already done the search warrant, and we were just waiting for that. And the Jew didn't really have anything to say. And I said, okay. So we talked about what happened and where it was at and what the stipulations were. So I told him, I said, well, I'm here, whatever you need. And he's like, there's nothing. He's like, because I didn't even do the search warrant.
No. So that's what. So dispatch calls. So when you have, what number do you have on file?
574-532-2754.
Your personal.
That's my personal cell, yeah.
All right.
But they left me a voicemail saying that they're calling my work cell, and they never called my work cell. Nope, I even show Run. I said, look, the only call I got from dispatch is DeAndre, and that was on Wednesday.
Okay.
That's all the calls. These are all my recent calls.
Okay.
So
and that's what's come to find out. And I even asked Ryan. it was a simple search warrant.
Yeah,
Well, that's why he didn't bother to call you.
I know, but
So then I put two it down and said, well, and then speaking with you, I was like, all right,
I'm not gonna have him do my, I'm not gonna have him do my work for me.
So
Ryan's got enough stuff going on as it is, and so being that he didn't call me back to tell me like, yo, I'm good, I'm thinking, man, I need to get in there and help my boy out.
But that's what we all know how Ryan is.
Yeah, but, right, but,
Really
and I'm not gonna leave him hanging. If he's here, I'm here. So I felt horrible. My husband, Justin, woke up, he's like, what's going on? I said, Ryan's in, I think. I said, dispatch says they don't have him on the screen. I said, but they're on something. I said, so I'm just gonna go in. And so he was like, okay, I had no idea until I talked to Lee that it was even a kind of a converter theft and that they caught the dude and whatever. And then when I got in here, Ron was able to tell me that they had like the prints, everything. And so when I was talking to Lee, I'm like, hey, make sure, because they wanted to release the cats back to the victim because they located the victim. And I'm like, well, make sure that we can signify that that is in fact that victim's, whatnot. And I ran the dude and checking through LP police and he's from Granger and.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, I just feel bad.
Jay Ray also got
Called.
And you assisted with that. Wasn't you assisted with Jay Ray this morning?
I didn't see Jay Ray this morning at all.
Then you said there was another.
There was another kid yelling on the radio this morning, and I didn't know what in the world was going on when you and I were talking on the phone. So that was Jay Ray handling that one.
I think I thought you said it was here, but maybe it was a different officer.
I don't know who it was. I don't know voices though either. What's Jay Ray's badge number?
Yeah, 3. No, you're fine. It was just because the times of it calling in, you come in because he got here at 1:37, and you got here roughly around 3.
Something, yeah.
So I was kind of explaining, but it all makes sense. And like I was explaining, that does happen in dispatch. I mean, I think what we'll need to do is just, I'll send an email out to everybody and say, like, what primary, what's the main number that you want dispatch to call you on.
And I want them to like get in contact with me.
Well,
I mean, but I understand now.
But up there, it all depends on who you're dealing with. Because they'll call you once. But maybe I'll talk with Kevin and say, we get dispatch to do protocol, try to call 2 times.
Well, Run told me that dispatch told him that my main went straight to my voicemail.
Yeah.
But then they didn't even call my work cell. And I'm like, well,
Well,
what's the point of having my work cell if you're not gonna even call my work cell, right?
Right.
And so then I told Ron, I said, well, maybe they don't have the right number for my work cell.
Right.
So if you send that email out, you might want to check and see and make sure that they have the right phone number for a work cell too. But they've called me on it before. Then that last week we had that hospital situation, they called my work cell.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, but I just don't. Yeah, right. I hope you understand.
But you're good with because I told you started your work day at 3.
I'm good whenever. You tell me. I don't even care about putting in for overtime if I need to. I'm good.
No, I told you.
I feel horrible because Ryan, you shouldn't have had to come in.
Now, I can understand if it was, you just did it just to do it.
No.
No, I said,
I would have stayed in bed.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
If you did it just to do it, that's a different, this stuff happens.
I know, but it's Ron, man.
Sometimes you can't control.
Like yesterday, like he went to the doctor too, I just, of all the people, like he's not the one I wanted to have to come in for me. So.
He steps up, he does a lot for a lot of people, even with his workload. But, he's a strong example of what I say, being a team player. You know what I mean? He even told me there was no need for you to even come in.
I know. He was like.
That's why he didn't bother calling you.
I know, but I can't have him do that, man.
And giving who you are to, like, no, man, this is me. I get it. So, you got two complete opposites, but at the end of the day, the job still got done. We still came in. You still stuck around to be here.
I wasn't going to go anywhere. After, I could feel like I kind of failed. So I was like, I just went and told Lee and Dan, I was like, I'm here. So just call my desk. I'm going to be doing summary.
But even at that, like I told you, I actually look at that being a good thing.
Yeah.
You still stuck around just in case there was anything else. But I just wanted to make sure I confirmed everything over Cap. Like, this is what technically happened. But the fact that you did stick around was a good. I look at that as being a good thing.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go anywhere.
Would leave and go back home. Hey, y'all give me more I'm here.
I was leaving again, only get called back. But I'll tell you what, I was sat at my desk and I called myself and it didn't work. It went straight to voicemail.
Your
So-
department stuff?
Not my work, my personal cell
Yeah.
from my desk line. And so I told Ron, we were sitting there fiddling with it together, and I said, man, you're right. I said, it went straight to my voicemail. And
Is it-
so it's off now. If you were to call my personal cell, it rings now.
Is it set because of the watch?
Yep. So I took it off my sleep study completely. So it's no longer monitoring my sleep.
So the watch automatically goes into.
9 to 5. I didn't know.
Oh, so you do that bedtime mode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it
okay.
was supposed to be like analyzing my
Yeah,
sleep to see when
yeah,
I have
yeah.
REM and not.
Yeah, you have to shut that sleep on.
I did. I shut it completely down. And in fact,
So automatically put everything on the phone and once sleep, do not disturb. What's this about?
Sergeant, did you recognize your voice on that recording?
You say, did I recognize my voice?
Your own voice, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you recognize Joy Phillips' voice?
Yes.
You believe that to be a recording of your conversation with Joy on January 7th, 2022?
Yes.
Okay. At this time, we would move for the admission of Exhibit 56. Excuse me, 41.
None.
41 is received.
Sergeant, where on that recording did you counsel Joy Phillips about lying?
Prior to you playing that, like I stated, the Captain Price told me to talk to her, at which I indicated that to be somewhat a counsel. A counsel you documented in RMS, she wasn't written up or reprimanded for any of that for that day.
Okay. So there's no point in that conversation where you told Joy Phillips that she had lied.
My words in that conversation was kind of muffled, but the whole purpose was that she lied about coming in and assisting Runyon, at which you can see, well, I was primary, so I felt like it was my job to come in.
In that recording, I never heard you state that Joy Phillips said something untruthful or words to that effect.
State that again.
Yeah, in that recording, I never heard you tell Joy Phillips that she stated something untruthful.
The untruth was she stated she came in and assisted Runyon. She admits in the recording that she didn't come in and assist Detective Runyon. She just felt like she was primary, so she came in.
Well, I heard on that recording, I heard Detective Phillips state that she missed the call, that she did not report to duty when she should have, and she apologized for that. But I never heard her get counseled for lying.
She didn't get counsel because it was never documented in RMS or benchmark. It was a conversation regarding her coming in and assisting on a search warrant. She didn't get disciplined or written up for the incident at all. So it's irrelevant. It was a conversation that we had in my office trying to figure out what went on. After that conversation, I actually went down the hallway to speak to Brass to see if there was another incident that day, and there wasn't another incident that day. Joy Phillips did not use that day as an early work day, but like I stated, she was not disciplined, nor was it written in RMS.
I didn't hear get counseled in any way about untruthfulness.
Because it wasn't a counsel, sir. It was a talking to. I was talking to her regarding coming in and assisting Detective Runyon.
Well,
Do you see anything? Do you have anything there with me documented in her profile of me writing her up for being dishonest or lying?
well, sir, in the original charging letter, she is accused of having lied about the time she appeared, and the charging letter also states that you counseled her about that lie.
I did talk to her about that lie. That's what that recording was.
Uh, uh, Would you,
Holy
sir, I did not hear the
shit.
word lie.
Okay. So, like in 30 seconds there, they went back and forth, and he went back and forth 6 different times saying it was a council, it wasn't a council, it was a council, it wasn't a council. So,
Right.
which is it there, bub? Like, you put an original charging statement that you did counsel her on lying about what time she arrived, and you're under oath right now saying that it wasn't a council, it's just a talking to. So, which is it?
No explanation for this. I don't understand. As a detective, you would think that he would know that the questions he's asking, like a suspect, that the answers that that person's going to give is going to be used against them to obtain whatever they need for his investigation. That's what he should be trained in, proficiently and fluently,
Right.
you know. And for him to sit on the stand and he's saying things when the attorney's not even asking him about them. All the attorney's asking is questions that can be answered yes or no, and he elaborates. That's why you see the attorney take a break for a minute. Like, let me shut up, let him rumble, let him run his mouth. It's all on the record. We'll use it later because he
No
ain't done.
shit. This is fucking gold on their part. Like,
Yeah.
they've got them in a proverbial noose at this point, as far as that you give them enough rope and they're literally gonna hang themselves. Like,
These are proceedings under oath. They took an oath. They swore under oath that everything that they say in these hearings is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And this attorney has picked them apart if you've been paying attention, so many different cases. Even the Andrew Royer case, he got the prosecutor. I mean, holy smokes! This is yeah. There's a reason why they didn't want this getting out or people disseminating this information like what we're doing. They did not want us to do what we're doing right now. So when
and
I
they
hear
sure as fuck
public
didn't
servant,
want us fucking breaking it down.
that's right. That's right. That's what we're saying. I mean, the video. If I seen somebody say they may have seen like a video or something, I know that like there's been a few out there and stuff like that. But if you're watching them, you're just watching the video. What we're doing is we're going over the video. So
Right.
when we're all done with this, I'll get with me and Midwest. We'll both try to get the entire video up there. But if they're like I said, it's just they're not out there for the public. They didn't publish these videos on a link on your local news or anywhere else. I don't even think it's on the city website. You would probably
No,
have to
it was
pay.
scrubbed.
Right. It's exactly right. Yes. And it's under judicial review right now. Everything we're watching, this stuff. Just look on my case, Joy Phillips. I'll give
I
you the
kind of
link to my
think
case.
you guys in the chat, I kind of think, and me and famously talked about this after the stream was over last night. We kind of think like this is a second whistleblower trying to get this information out there. Because like he said, it's the news is not covering it. The city is not being transparent about it. They've scrubbed it from their website. So now there's going to be multiple copies. And you know what? They can try and take all of this down of my channel, off of Famously. We still have copies. We still have multiple copies of everything we're playing. So
not just
if you
us.
try to take if you try to take this down, you're going to expose yourself more.
Right. Do what you want to do.
You're going to look really guilty if you try
we
and take this shit down.
It's already been forwarded to every big channel in YouTube that you can think of, you guys. They're tagged in it. This is, if they want Lacklusters and James Freeman and all these people to cover it, then San Joaquin, I mean, hey, take the son of a bitch down then you'll see what happens because it's going to keep backfiring on you. We're going to dig deeper.
Yep, that's going to give us the fire to fucking dig even deeper. And yeah, we're not going anywhere, and we're going to keep fucking putting these these videos back up. And
Yeah.
every video, every little live stream that I do, every little panel, guess what? It's back up to 3 other places. I'll put them right back up. So do
Yeah.
what you got to do. You better start looking at the graph, because when you start to fuck around, you're gonna get to finding out. You think we haven't even begun yet, guys?
Yeah.
Let's get back to it. And I still don't feel like unaliving myself.
Yeah, I echo that.
Nope.
or dishonesty or untruthfulness or any similar such word. I heard you talk to her about being late, which she acknowledges she was.
I don't. You say about her being late?
Would you
Like, you got me confused here. I keep telling you that was
missing the
not
initial call?
missing. No, yeah, she missed the initial call, but part of that, she lied about coming in and assisting Detective Runyon. That is part of that conversation.
Did you ever use the word lie? Because I did not hear
No,
the
I
word
might.
lie
I
in
do
that
not recall the
conversation.
full conversation, but like I said, if you listen to it, it's kind of muffled, so you can barely hear me.
So you heard the word lie and we didn't.
State that again.
So you heard the word, you heard yourself use the word lie on that conversation.
Like I said, I don't recall that full conversation, and you could barely hear me in that auto because I was muffled.
Were you aware that the city initially charged Joy Phillips with that allegation, but later withdrew it in the amended charges?
I mean, it was an incident and situation that happened, but I am not part of the process of how the city charges an individual. But I can only go based off of what I know. I didn't document it in RMS or Benchmark.
Well, where did that accusation come from,
That
if not from
accusation,
you?
that incident came from me. I told them about the incident, but she did not get discipline written up from me.
Okay, real quick. Claiborne asks, who is Tribune and ProPublica?
All right, the South Bend Tribune is the newspaper in South Bend. It's all also affiliated with WSBT News 22, and ProPublica is the ones when, if you guys remember watching when the Wolverines story came out, which included the wrongful convictions and then beating a guy in a chair while he was handcuffed, and that was the mayor's son and all them that were present during that. Two of the officers, I believe one of them just got a year in federal prison or something like that. And they did a big investigation and found that nearly every officer inside this department had a disciplinary record.
Yep.
And ProPublica has a bunch of stories. All you have to do is type in the Google thing, ProPublica, Elkhart, Indiana, and there'll be another rabbit hole for you to go down. And it all leads back to where we are right now.
Well, it all actually.
And
I,
further
I,
back, I mean,
I was just gonna say it all leads back to the fucking videos we did on the other panel we did, informational, that included the Wolverines and former chiefs from the, I think, 70s and 80s, or maybe 80s and 90s.
remember the chief, the same chief that testified in these hearings, he was trying to rip his news microphone off. I'm done. He was done. He didn't want to go back 30 years. But Andrew Royer wants to go back 30 years so he can be a young kid again, not in prison,
he does.
or have his mind altered, or have to live in the maximum security places that he did, 23 hours a day locked in a cell, mentally handicapped, because they kidnapped him off the streets and the housing authority and made him a suspect that he wasn't trained in. Max
The
Sims
same.
wants to go back 30 years. Keith Cooper wants to go back 30 years. They want their lives back. Christopher Parrish wants to go back 30 years.
Yep.
A,
And
a
keep in
lot of
mind,
us
y'all,
want to. A lot of us want to go back 30 years because this ain't about me. But I grew up in this system, so I understand it firsthand. That's why I do what I do. Because some of
keep
these
in mind,
same faces, the chief of police that you seen testify in this hearing when I got waived to adult court as a 16-year-old is the one that told when him and Joe escorted me to court. They were both advising me to accept my waiver because the adult court would go lenient on me. The adult court didn't go lenient on me at
it's
16
fucked
years
up,
old.
man.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what gave me the drive to even look into all this. And I asked myself all the years, why? What? Nobody ever, you tell the truth and nobody ever wants to listen to you. They just twist every word you say. It's because of people like Mr. Roundtree here. They take your
And the
word,
city
they twist
attorney,
them. Yeah, it only took them 30 days, to get me into the juvenile courts and, here, take this pill or, you know, it's that's exactly what they do up to a lot of families. There's not a lot
hmm
of people out there that speak up about it, but some of us just, I mean, why not?
for
Why not
those
speak up
who,
about it?
this right here is for those of you out there that lost your voice trying to be heard. Now we're taking over.
You know,
This is for you. And keep in
I can
mind
tell.
what happened to Andrew Royer. He was living in public housing that all of the police officers have keys to. They have
The house
skeleton keys, master keys to this housing.
of your apartment
Yeah, these apartments. They have master keys to each apartment.
that the Elkhart Housing Authority runs.
The same
What you see
apartment
these
that Andrew Royer was living in
the
at the time of his arrest
the,
and shit.
the same apartments where Leo Watcher is posting these lawsuits, where you seen these cops going in there and busting people and planting evidence or falsifying reports, defrauding our government. That's what they were doing. That's what they continue to do, and defrauding the taxpayers along with it. So it's not over. It's not going to be over until I don't know. I mean, the entire county needs sweeping reforms, but it needs to be investigated. Like a federal agency, like the DOJ, come in, seize every
A special
freaking
counsel.
computer and hard drive, anything that's on the persons of these criminals while they're working needs to be gone through. And what I believe is that Joy went to work for Elkhart and she noticed she's a detective. She's seen what was going on. And you know what? I think that's, maybe what if she was wearing a recording device in there or not? It's like she said, she's a whistleblower. How how do you know she's not a federal agent that was sent in to investigate this already? How do you know she isn't working for the DOJ? We don't know. We won't know for a
Yeah,
few years till these court
it's.
hearings come out. But she seems adamant and well prepared. She could have probably defended herself.
I think
You
she probably
know,
could have been more fluid with everything, doing it
but
herself. But yeah,
as you can see, the attorney's poignant, and he's asking these questions for a reason. They're not
yeah.
being asked just for shits and giggles. They are being asked for reasons. And those
You know,
reasons are that when they asked Vicki Becker about what he asked her about being untruthful or, insubordinate or failing to, do their due diligence, that's the same thing he's asked every one of these officers. But what it leads back to is these are the same officers that they go into these other courtrooms in the superior courts, city courts, and testify and submit evidence, and it shines a light on the way they really work and how there's a hostile work environment in the detectives bureau and how they don't even know what due process is. That's embarrassing for the supervisor of the detectives to not know what due process is to get a search warrant. I mean, do you know how many cases this brings into question?
All of them.
Elkhart sends a lot of people through the courts. They're building a new courthouse right now. And you can believe these derelicts are out there pulling you over, searching your vehicle, asking you for consent to search your vehicle when you don't have to give it, coming up with all kinds of little revenue, big money.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because they have the minions and the people that will go out and carry out them orders standing right there at that podium holding on to each side with everything he has because he's about ready to shit all over himself. He was looking at the clock a little bit ago.
And you know this lawyer style, you know who it reminds me of, and I just thought about this. His style reminds me of a cop watcher, Travis Hines.
Well, he
He's kind of
is.
playing stupid and letting them fucking play into his fucking hand.
Well, a lot of these officers like have not came in here and given any kind of testimony that was beneficial to the city of Elkhart and us taxpayers. That's for sure. When it comes to lawsuits and potential, appeals from. Do you know how many people are going to file for post-conviction relief now? File for an appeal on their case because they're going to bring into the question the integrity of this detective that put them in prison because he said under oath that he doesn't know what probable cause is, Your Honor. I mean, these are arguments and things that you can bring up later.
Yeah, and he's definitely set himself up for future litigation or depositions or whatever with all of this stuff.
I believe it is Leon versus City of Elkhart or something like that. It goes through that case. It quotes a lot of other cases and how like false testimony was given. Certain detectives were, like Carlton Conway is a crooked detective. Steve Rizzuto, that's another one that hasn't been mentioned yet in these hearings, but he committed suicide when he was put under investigation for all of his. I mean, all these guys, these are the ones that are. Keith Cooper got the biggest settlement in the state of Indiana history for a wrongfully convicted person. Andrew Royer hasn't even, I don't even think that's finished. There were some people that were dismissed from their suit by Andrew Royer because they have immunity, qualified immunity, and that's the only thing that probably saved them. But I don't think it does. I mean, after you hear the testimony of these hearings, it brings in the question the integrity of that individual, and that is our elected prosecutor, Vicki Elaine Becker. I don't know why more people aren't speaking out about it. The judges, I mean, they asked that. Well, you have to notify the jury or the court that the person about to give this testimony has a history of being untruthful. Does the prosecutor walk in there when she's prosecuting all these cases that she has the propensity to be untruthful in official hearings and interrogations? She sat in there with Carlton Conway when they coerced a mentally handicapped man into admitting to something after hours and hours of interrogation. I believe 7 hours in the interrogation room. They mentally drain this man. There's policies and laws and probably case law that applies to the questioning of mentally handicapped individuals and how you go about doing that. You don't, under duress, there's another lawsuit that just in Elkhart, they arrested a man. Can't think of his name, Duncan, at I believe the 7-Eleven on Jackson Boulevard, Johnson Street in Elkhart. He was not getting along with the cashier or something, and when the officer was there, he was maybe mentally ill. I don't know what. I can't say. I mean, his family's suing. He went to the jail and he died. I mean, the sheriff's being sued. Captain Lansing's being sued right now at the sheriff's department. Who do you think arrested this guy? The Elkhart Police Department. So yeah, there's a lot of questions that people have that aren't getting answered. Those are cases you don't hear about. The news ain't publishing that.
Well, see, what these videos are uncovering is a history of negligence, coercion, and collusion, and just downright fucking nasty pieces of shit. That's what it's uncovering.
And these people are butt buddies with each other. The ex-police chief. There's a detective that he got in. His wife got into it with a woman at some party out in Osceola. Chris Seymour, his wife, owner of Tri-State Security. He approached this detective, and I guess there were some threatening things going on. Detective Whitehead from the Elkhart County Sheriff's Department. Detective Whitehead no longer works for the Elkhart County Sheriff's Department as a detective. He lives in Tennessee now and works for an insurance company. That kind of just like got swept under the rug, but the state police was investigating it. They say that the chief contacted the state police about it, but I mean, come on. I mean, you got the Elkhart City police chief fighting with the Elkhart County detectives and shit. Like, uh, this is there's a soap opera going on behind the scenes, man. You know?
Yeah, there's all kinds of different fucking sub stories inside one main story here, and it's starting to get the best of them. They can't keep their lives straight any longer.
I mean, it's like trying to hold water in a laundry bag. It's leaking everywhere. I mean, and you got other officers, the detectives. They already admitted. The councilman said it that he's got cops coming to him with recordings that they have that nobody will address in the department.
Yep.
Like, this is not just me. I mean, I'm not just out there running around with a camera trying to tell you guys that, hey, this place has got some, egregious misconduct going on. I can assure you that this is, why not play this evidence to show you and disseminate this information, discuss it, for the simple fact that, I mean, what do we do? Just ignore it? Let it fall on deaf ears? I mean, this isn't your neighbor's stereo too loud over there, or somebody,
This is people's
banging on a drum
lives.
set upstairs. This is our lives. When we leave our homes at any given time, me, you, or our children might interact with one of these dumbasses. And guess what? It's our duty to protect that.
Well, and we
Plain
can
and
say it
simple.
until we're blue in the face, and people are not going to believe it until we show them this shit.
It's our duty to
That's
protect
the,
ourselves and third parties from somebody that may be committing a forcible felony against them. It's
Yep.
our duty. It's a law. It's a law in Indiana. It's a right that it gives you in that law, but the law states that you have a right to defend yourself or for property you have permission to protect or a third party from someone committing a forcible felony against them. I would say wrongfully incarcerating someone or criminally confining someone or, basically kidnapping someone off the street is a felony.
Yep.
So hit the
I would say
record button.
someone's freedom is worth defending.
I mean, period. You have a right to redress that right there and then. And if you don't, and it falls on deaf ears, and we just turn our head and it's like, oh, never mind. It's just, it's just Sergeant Roundtree being an asshole again.
Nothing new. Just ignore it. It'll go away. Well, we're tired of
Well,
ignoring shit. We're done. We're
how many
done.
more Andrew Royers are there? That's what I want to know.
It's
How
gone
many
on
of
long
these
enough.
how many of these guys were intimidated so bad? These cops and detectives like this guy here got them in detectives bureau, scared the shit out of them so much. They use it to get information out of people. Well, if you tell us this, we might be able to help you on your criminal case a little bit. I'll talk to Vicky. I got a good rapport with her, obviously. We scratch each other's ass all the time.
Yep.
It's
Well, this is
sickening.
just a start. This is the start of me, famously, Leo Watcher, and whoever else wants to join us. This is the start of us exposing the real shit going on.
This is not what our tax dollars is for, you guys. This is not what we pay people, public servants, there to carry out our best interests and be our voice. And if they're not doing that, then they're not doing their jobs.
That's right.
They're representatives of us, the people.
Negligence.
And if they're not going to be representatives of us, then they don't need to be in the positions that they are in. Period.
Well, we got about 20 minutes left of this guy, I think.
All right.
So let's finish him up and we'll see where we sit from there. Here we go, guys.
All right.
Sergeant, returning to the Bees 3 incident, in your testimony at the Board of Public Safety hearing, you stated that you and Captain Whitmire drove out to the owner's house, Mr. Grant's house. Is that not correct? At some point you drove out there?
Reference my earlier statement during this, I did state that me and Captain Whitmire drove, well, he's the assistant chief, assistant chief. But at that time, Captain Whitmire and myself did go out to the apartment.
The apartment's at the head
This
key.
was after Detective Payne agreed to write the search warrant?
Yes, that was after Detective Payne and Detective Barron agreed to write the search warrant.
Well, if someone was going to write the search warrant, why did you need to go out to the car and get consent?
Because the consent search form is an affidavit at which an individual could sign off, giving us the rights to search a vehicle, which is it's better to do it because it takes less time.
But you had to drive out there. I mean, if you supposedly had all the information you needed to obtain a lawful warrant to get into the trunk of the Cadillac and the iPhone, why would you need to go drive to someone to get permission?
Because I had a relationship with the victim. I knew who the victim was. And so Whitmire asked Assistant Chief Whitmire wondered what type of relationship that I had. And I said I knew the kid. And so we went and tried to see if we can get a consent to search form signed, which we did. We practiced that on the road. We look at other options.
Didn't Detective Phillips tell you that it was a stretch to even try to get the search warrant?
Once again, that's Detective Phillips' opinion. Detectives and uniform officers have their own opinions.
But ultimately, you decided not to get it.
Yes, because I got a consent to search form signed, sir.
Were you present when Joy Phillips said that she was trying to protect the department from lawsuits?
Once again, that's her own opinion based on the facts that she believed.
Well, I'm simply asking, sir, if you heard her say it.
I do not recall that.
Sir, what day did you order Joy Phillips to write the search warrant?
I do believe that might have been, that had been, the incident happened on the 12th. On the 13th, I interviewed the witness. I believe that had been the 14th of July.
When did you file your complaint against Detective Phillips?
I do not recall that. I know it was a while after because I was taking care of that.
If I told you it was July 18th, 2022, would you disagree with me?
I do not recall. If you actually have the actual complaint report, I can tell you if that's an accurate date or not. But
Well,
I do not recall the date. I knew it was a few days, maybe a few or 3 or 4 days later down the line.
Why did it take you so long to write the complaint?
Well, I felt I can deal with somebody's discipline at a later date. My main focus is serving the community and making sure the search warrant to the vehicle and everything had to be completed.
Sir, I'm going to show you plaintiff's exhibit 22. Sir, do you recognize exhibit 22?
Yes, this would be my complaint and benchmark.
Did you write that? So you wrote that document?
I filled it out on the computer, yes.
Okay. At this time, we would move to admit Joy Phillips exhibit 22.
Can someone point me to what we're talking about? So you're exhibit 22, is that fair to say? My only objection would be that it's about prior discipline, but I won't object.
22 is received without objection.
Sir, did anyone help you write that?
No,
Did anyone ask you to write that?
no, I wrote it. I made a decision to write Joy. I made a decision to write Joy up the day of the incident after our interaction that we had that night in the war room of the Elkhart Police Department of CID.
Why did it take you a week to write it?
I had other obligations to take care of regarding investigations and stuff.
Sir, none of the people that you asked to write the search warrant actually wrote it, did they?
Once again, sir, I got a consent to search form signed, so no, they didn't have to write the search warrant.
But only Joy Phillips was reprimanded for it.
For the search warrant?
For her failure to write it.
She got reprimanded from me regarding the conversation that we had over the telephone regarding coming in and her being subordinate to me when we had the conversation in the CID war room.
She was charged with failing to do her job, wasn't she, twice? Perhaps not from a complaint from you, but that was what she was charged with, failing to do her work. Oh, actually, I believe that's listed on there.
Failure to perform a duty insubordinate and failure to perform a duty.
So only Joy Phillips was charged with failing to perform a duty.
Because Detective Phillips failed to come in when Sergeant Young requested her to come in.
Didn't Joy Phillips actually come in that day?
On my order.
Okay.
You spoke over the
Oh,
council.
I'm sorry.
What's the question? What's the answer?
So Joy Phillips did come in that day, didn't she?
Based on my order on the second call.
So she did come in.
She did come in, but she would have went in on the first initial phone call with me as she would have provided me with accurate information.
You know how many minutes elapsed between Dustin, the first call and the second call?
I do not recall.
It was under 10 minutes, wasn't it?
Once again, I do not recall.
Doesn't it also, isn't there a note from Lieutenant
This guy has a history. When the facts are presented to him, he don't recall.
Absolutely not. How convenient.
When it's detrimental to his case falling apart, oh, I don't recall.
Man, I sent you an email, man, with an attachment. Read that attachment, and it might throw you back in your chair, but read that attachment I sent you just a minute ago. I'll talk to you about it later or whenever.
You want me to read it right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead and play the video and then I'll read it.
Yeah, let the video play and check that out.
All right.
Raffle that he needs more information on that, in the benchmark report?
Where's it at on this form? Recommendation, need more information, maybe the possibly at that time I read it, he probably needed me to add a little bit more detail to the write-up.
Believe it's in there twice on different dates.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I said, there might have been, I need to elaborate more detail on the write-up.
Did you ever provide that information?
Eventually, yeah, it went through and got approved.
What was it?
I do not recall.
No further questions. Thank you. Thank you, Sergeant.
Just brief. Ultimately, is it fair to say that Detective Phillips was never disciplined for refusing to write a search warrant, correct?
Correct.
And is it fair to say that Detective Phillips was not willing to learn the facts of the case so that she could write a search warrant?
Correct.
And that was the difference between her and Ronnie Barron and Detective Payne, correct?
Correct.
And Ronnie Barron and Detective Joshua Payne ultimately did begin writing the search warrant, correct?
Correct.
So Detective Phillips was the only detective who refused to write a search warrant, correct?
Correct.
I don't have any further questions.
Sergeant, you ordered Detective Phillips to write the search warrant, didn't you?
Me saying I need you to write a search warrant, yes, that would be ordering somebody to write it.
Were the exact words you used, "You will write the search warrant"?
I didn't demand her. I didn't say you will write the search warrant. I said I need you to write a search warrant because you were the primary officer on call that day.
And that was a direct order.
Yes.
And you expected her to write the search warrant immediately
Easy.
Not immediately.
or that day.
That day or the next day, how long it ever took for her to obtain the factual elements that she needed for the search warrant.
But you didn't explain to her that she could take the time she needed to investigate the case further and develop more facts establishing probable cause, did you?
Detective Phillips is a 20-year veteran officer. Detective Phillips has been back in CID longer than I have. I think Detective Phillips understood that she had an amount of time to get the information that is needed to obtain the search warrant. I'm pretty sure that Detective Phillips also understood that with me asking her to type the search warrant, that she had an ample opportunity to do what she needed to do to get the information, regardless if it was done that day or the next day. When I asked her, it wasn't meant do it right away.
You didn't explain that to her, did you?
I mean, common ground with her being a veteran, I assume she would have known that.
You assumed, you didn't tell her.
Well, she's done many search warrants back in the Elkhart Police Department, back in CID, so it's no different. I don't understand why that situation would have been different.
Never, you simply ordered her to write the search warrant
Yes,
on that day.
sir. On July 14th, I asked Detective Phillips to write a search warrant.
No further questions.
No further questions.
We call for
It's
Sergeant.
like, phew, that's done. Thank God.
Oh,
I was
man.
having trouble keeping my story straight. Thank God that's over with. So just a few minutes ago, he come back and said that she would have had the time, however long she needed to gather the facts to write the affidavit, correct? And then
Well,
20 minutes ago said that she hadn't done it in 2 days, so that's why he wrote her up. This is unbelievable. Oh, God. Let's see if we can finish up. I don't know how much is left, but I mean, fuck, we only have 45 minutes left in the entire video.
We do not need the sergeant further.
Sergeant Roundtree, then you're free to go. Thank you very much for your testimony here today. Don't discuss your testimony with anyone other than the lawyers. And if anybody else tries to talk to you about what you've said in here, let the commission know right away, please.
What the fuck? It's public. Don't let anybody else know what you said in public. Don't discuss what you said in public with anyone of the public. Are you kidding me? Famously, you there?
yep, I'm here.
Okay. You're just like as in shock as I am, right?
Yeah, I am. I just that uh document I sent you.
Yeah, I'm blown the fuck away.
That's a PDF file.
A literal PDF file.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I
we're
can
not
add it
out
to the
here.
stream.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you want to add that to the screen,
I mean, if we're
I
gonna
can do it.
fucking
Well,
expose shit, might as well go with nuclear, right?
we might as well just nuke the channel right now and put the icing on the cake, you guys. So we got 42 people in here. If you pull that up on the screen, let me get it on my
You
phone
think that
here.
you
So
think you think
I'm
they'll nuke
gonna
the channel?
read. Huh?
You think they'll nuke the channel?
No. I think that I just it's public record. It's a PDF file. It's you can Google it. So apparently, which is weird, this is an appeal that popped up. There was a mother that was married and divorced from a employee at the Elkhart County Prosecutor's Office. And there's an appeal filed on it. That's what the PDF file is. If I'm trying to find maybe like a little bit of the can you pull up the PDF file itself?
Well, yeah. Hold on.
You might have to download it and up.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Hold on.
Stay tuned here, you guys, because I would like to get to a portion of it and have you. I'll give you a page number we can start at.
All right.
Let's
I'm
see,
going to.
I do have to open it up, the actual file. So, you guys,
That's
this
fine.
is if you're in here, um, stay for just a second, please. I'm going to read this to you.
I think I can
got
bring it up. Give me a second.
All right, let me look here. I can take screenshots and send them to you too if I need to.
No, I've got it.
You do?
I've got it. I've got it.
Okay. Now hold on here.
You guys don't go anywhere. Do not go anywhere. This is.
All right. Hold on here.
Oh.
Just start at statements of the facts on page 1. Can you zoom in? Well, when you get to page 1, you're gonna have to scroll down to statements of the facts.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah, I know. I just guide us here. I'm not gonna read from your screen. All right, right here. This is a statement of the facts. Midwest will get it up there for you a little bit so you can.
It's up there.
All right. I don't know if you guys can
Can
read
y'all
it.
see it?
You can pinch your finger on a phone and zoom in.
Wait, hold on just a second. Time out. Hold on just a second. Can you guys see it?
I can see it a little bit, but it's probably going to be blurry if they zoom in to it.
Put a 1 in the chat if that's good enough to see. This is the big one.
All right. Statement of the facts. Okay. You ready?
Yeah, you go ahead and read. I'm going to try and grab the link for it, and I'm going to throw it in chat.
All right. Statement of the facts. This is a appeal between a mother and a public servant that works in the prosecutor's office, and it's dealing with some matters of public interest because it involves elected officials and public servants, okay, tax-paid employees. Statement of the facts. Respondent father is a deputy prosecutor in Elkhart County, Indiana, where he has been employed for over 10 years. The parties were married in April of 2007, and their daughter was born in June of 2008. Father began working for Curtis Hill, the elected prosecutor of Elkhart County, in 2008. Respondent father filed a petition for dissolution of marriage on December 13, 2014 in the Elkhart Superior Court 2, Appendix A15. The attorney whom father hired as counsel for his divorce was Michael Cristofino, who remained the attorney of record for respondent father from the initial filing of the dissolution through a majority of the trial in the matter, and withdrew after respondent father asked him to withdraw midway through the trial in the matter in December of 2016. Appendix P A86. However, just prior to the trial in November of 2016, Mr. Cristofino was elected the judge of the Elkhart Circuit Court, the highest court in Elkhart County. He took the bench as the elected judge in January of 2017. See Appendix P, A94 through A95. The order being appealed in this matter was issued on March 31st, 2017. As of the writing of this brief, Magistrate Burton, the finder of fact in this matter, is listed as magistrate for the Honorable Michael Cristofino. All right. This gives you judiciary files and court directory link, page 10 of 48. The magistrate Burton is also the magistrate for 5 other judges. Okay, see above, page 10 and 11 in that link. During the pendency of the dissolution, mother obtained a protective order against the father. Mother made a report to the LaGrange County, the county where petitioner mother lived, adjacent to Elkhart County Sheriff's Department, that father had violated the protective order. For some unknown reason, the report was not forwarded to the LaGrange County, Indiana prosecutor, but instead forwarded to the elected prosecutor of Elkhart County, Curtis Hill. Respondent father's boss, who subsequently wrote mother a letter that she should pursue the matter in the protective order court, which would be LaGrange County, Appendix P, A82 through A83. After agreed provisional orders were entered in the divorce, but during the pendency of the dissolution proceedings, mother filed for modified provisional orders detailing report from the child of sexual and physical abuse, requesting restricted visitation from father, and a report was made to the Indiana Department of Child Services that respondent father had molested the child of the marriage. Appendix A16, DCS, after substantiating the molest allegations, substantiating, hold on, let me get that right. Appendix A16, DCS, after substantiating the molest allegations, subsequently filed a child in need of services petition in the Elkhart Circuit Court. Appendix PA 81. The child in need of services TINS cases were immediately transferred to the Marshall County Circuit Court after preliminary orders were issued. Appendix PA 81. The Elkhart Circuit Court stated the reason for transfer of the matter out of its court was because respondent father was a deputy prosecuting attorney who practiced in that court. And I'm going to stop there.
Do you guys get that? The person that is accused of molesting the child from within the marriage was a deputy prosecuting attorney in the court in which the case was filed or referred to.
For Curtis Hill, the former prosecutor of Elkhart County and the former attorney general of the state of Indiana, the former boss of Vicki Elaine Becker. Is it adding up yet, you guys? The judge is Michael Cristofino, that was his attorney. He's now the circuit court judge. Obviously, the magistrate in all these proceedings, you know, when you're arraigned, was not only the magistrate for the circuit court judge, but he was the magistrate for 5 other courts under that prosecutor had to have worked in, them courts. And these people are representing each other and defending each other through their divorce proceedings and everything else. It's just like George Carlin said, you guys, it's a country club and we ain't in it.
Right. This is disgusting. This just came across our news desk. This is, well, it's not really breaking news because it's in the public, but after everything you've just seen over the last 4 streams, now add this in. You think it could get any worse, guys? But wait, there's more. We'll get to that. Just wait.
We haven't even lifted the lid off the sewer. It's blew itself off because of the pressure at this point. It had nowhere else to go for this, all of this shit to go, except for the lid to fly off the sewer eventually.
It exploded. It's in pieces. There is no lid. There's no covering it up now. Because we're going to let it flow right on out. And we're going to present it to you in a way that everybody can understand. Hopefully, we can do that.
That's a document. That's a PDF file. Did you put the link up?
I put it in like 6 times.
Have at her, you guys.
Buzz, did you ever find the link, Bud? Did you ever get it to work or show up?
It'll come to your phone. It'll download. You'll have to save it to your downloads in your phone and go look at it as a file in your documents in your phone. So go back into your phone in settings, go into your storage, and then it'll be under documents. If it's not in when you open up documents, click the pancake button at the top left of your screen, and it will open it up, and it will say recent. Hit recent, and it should be the very first one that you just downloaded in your phone.
Or you can go to, if you're on a Samsung phone, you go to My Files and go to Downloads, and it'll be the last thing you downloaded.
Snarky, thank you for coming in here.
Yeah, Snarky, we're not going to do too much more tonight. We just want to end this one with a bang. This is going to be pretty much it here. We got one more guy, I think, that's going to come up and talk and be on stand.
We're gonna watch him, or we just get this video over, or what?
No, I don't have another hour in me, bro.
All right, you're fine. Let this be it then.
Yeah, we're gonna end this video with a bang. Buzz, I'm glad you got the link, man. You guys read over that, dude. Like, this is disgusting, disturbing fucking shit. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of what we're dealing with, guys.
Well,
there's gonna be more.
You see, with the detectives that are trying to speak out in the department, or police officers, not it's the thing, it's just detectives. There's beat officers out there that's seeing stuff that's probably transferred here, did lateral transfers. They're in a contract with this police union over here now, and they probably came into this department and went home and told their wife, I don't know what the hell I just got myself into. Holy shit. I mean,
we've got a windfall coming.
Hopefully some of them people that are coming into the department that are newer, the younger officers and stuff like that, can do a better job.
Dreamy man, I think the reason it's a conflict of interest because he's an officer of the court, whereas he's the prosecutor or the deputy prosecuting attorney for that court. So it would be it was sent to the circuit court where he's a deputy prosecuting attorney. So that would absolutely be a conflict of interest.
Well, and then the circuit court judge was his attorney for the marriage. And then the magistrate that oversaw that hearing is a magistrate not only for the judge that he hired for his attorney, but 5 other courts that this guy at the prosecutor's office puts evidence into. So, yeah, I mean,
all right, Buzz.
Absolutely. As you know, there's no names in that. I think that's like that for a reason, because it's public, but still, I
Honorable Judge Stephen Bowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the victims,
all these
names,
dude.
but
I mean, you can keep going, man. You can go all the way back to the Max and Elizabeth Walker, or that's Max and Elizabeth Walker Foundation, but Max Walker, the former attorney or prosecuting attorney, it just goes down the line, bro. You guys, it's insane. It really is. It's totally insane. You can find all this stuff, right, if you know how to search right. So just don't hesitate, to research.
Do you have that document that shows people how to search? Do you have that handy?
I don't know where the hell is that. Let's see here.
If he can find it, guys, there's a document that we're going to bring up that will show you guys exactly how to search in your area, how to look things up. This is how you do it. This is how you do what we're doing right here. I mean, there's a little bit more to it in this shit, but this will get you a good start into learning how to look in your own area. And that's another thing that we wanted to highlight. We want to show you guys how to be able to look in your area and find the corruption in your area. If you guys don't want to do the panels, fucking send your information to us. You can send it to me. You can send it to Famously. This is what we're gonna do, man. I think I've kind of found my calling about what I want to do. Of course, I'm still gonna cop watch, but that may be limited because of this right here. I think
Well,
to
I
me
think
this is kind
sometimes,
of more important, really.
well, I think sometimes you see us out there, we're riding around, we got a camera, you buy a $500 gear course, you don't tear something up you love to go ride around and watch these derelicts. And then you see us, dealing with rodeo clowns that come up to the camera and try to deflect and, basically prior restraint, keep you from documenting matters of public interest with your camera. And then people, we ride around our car and rant, you know, I,
Yeah.
sometimes,
It,
we miss a lot of what we're doing right now, the actual, the paperwork, the proof in the pudding. It's basically just a rant when you're out speaking about it or bringing it up. I've
absolutely.
probably done it for hours, during streams throughout the years, but when
Now
you
it's time to
actually,
be a people of action.
all of it's on documented paperwork.
Yeah.
Um, and when you have access to that, and other people have access to that, you guys, we all have access to it. We just got to know how to find it.
Well,
So,
that's how you do it right there. It's highlighted. How to search state courts info in your area. There's your template, guys.
but
Have
you
at it.
guys, the main thing is there accountability for what we've been able to witness? I don't know. I don't know if there is. It seems to me like all the way from the mayor's office to the city attorney to the prosecutor's office, and according to this document, up through the judges and magistrates and everywhere, there's a bunch of conflicts of interest that are not out there for everybody to see every day. When you're going to the grocery store, you're just trying to go about your life. You're not paying attention to that shit, and that's what they play on. That's what they bet on. These people don't know what we're up to. They have no clue. Well, some do. A lot do. So, no matter where you're at, if I go to the law library in prison, I can find that shit. I just request it. The law clerk will find it for me.
Yep.
But at the same time, out here at your fingertips in the real world, you have access to information. It's just a matter of getting to it. And they play games like that where they bury stories. Where I've went through and seen articles that I've posted, and you go back to it, and at 404s, they take the link down. They get a hold of news organizations or their buddy over there. Because, like South Bend Police Department has Ashley O'Chat, used to work for WSBT News and South Bend Tribune. You got your publicist in Elkhart. I think she's worked WNIT or something. I don't want to misquote where she worked, but, a lot of look in them accounts, LinkedIn accounts and stuff like that, and see what these resumes are. Like I said, check Ballotpedia or whatever it is. With your judges, your elected officials, Gov salary, open payrolls. Get into those sites, start researching this stuff, you guys. It's public information. There's nothing that I'm disseminating to you or putting on this screen that you can't type up there into that search tab and find it. All of our information is out there. Every single one of us sitting here today's information is in that search tab. If you don't believe me, just search this in the search tab. Ask Google what is X key store. I'll type it into the chat for you. What is X? Here you
Dreamy,
go.
it's right there on the bottom of the page.
Ask Google that I just typed in there. Everything's online and it's archived.
Right there. Council made an offer of proof for the change of venue. And they disregarded that. Right.
This is an appeal, but this information came out in an appeal. So
You know, I'm just saying she's Dreamy Lynn.
substantiated claims. Sorry about
I'm
that,
saying,
bro.
no, you're good. I'm just saying Dreamy Lynn asked if, look for documents, see if they filed a change of venue. Well, they did file. I'm reading it right here. A hearing was held on mother's verified motion for change of venue on September 12, 2016, in which the Honorable Judge Stephen Bowers of Elkhart Superior Court 2 denied the motion.
It's
So,
just crazy,
and
dude.
this entire case was dropped, dismissed.
And this isn't even like we haven't scratched the surface, man. Like I said, this is the sewer lid that blew off because, like I said, it's too full and the snake is eating its own ass. That's the only thing left. If a public relations officer downtown Elkhart has a better explanation for me, I'd be obliged to record that explanation.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it right here.
when our elected councilmen in this city, one of them is concerned to the point where he speaks up enough in his position as councilman. It's his right to do and ask questions. That's his job, to create ordinances. All right, rules and policies that the police are to carry out. That is a fact. If he's the only one speaking up and your chief of police is trying to stifle him and basically muffle his First Amendment rights, my ears are surely picking up. When my city attorney, she's my city attorney too, I have to go deal with her, is telling a merit commission judge that we have to redact portions of a public hearing because we cannot. She emphasized and added emphasis to the word cannot let this get out. And then our elected prosecutor for this county walks into this hearing and makes a sworn statement that she called that city attorney. Vicki Elaine Becker called Rose Marie, okay? And sorry, I just had a brain fart. Rosemary Rivera, the city attorney, and asked her or demanded or whatever. I don't know. We can ask Mr. Roundtree if he investigated that crime, but he probably didn't. Suppressing information from the public, the prosecutor did not want this public. I have a problem with that as a supporter for the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. It's the very first one. I can't even flip 2 pages into the Constitution, and it's right there. I'm flabbergasted. So, thank you guys for watching. It's not about the likes, the views, the clicks. It's about the clips. I'll tell you that. So, clip this video, share it out, make shorts of it, put it in your local Facebook feeds, your Twitter accounts, your TikTok videos. If you make a YouTube short, you can turn it into a TikTok short. Put it on your Instagram. I mean, fuck. Use it as a green screen on your OnlyFans. I don't care. Get it out there.
Truth Social, everywhere. Put it out there.
Everywhere. That's what it's for. That's what these people do. When they walk into that office down there, I can't go down there and take the keys back from them. I don't know who can, but I'm sure there's somebody that can.
Yep, we're gonna leave this stream right there with that little bomb, little baby nuke, if you will.
Yep.
Definitely appreciate everybody coming in. Leo Watcher, man, rock star with the information, bro. Fucking killing it. Dreamy Lynn, thank you so much. Let's see who else we got here. Let me give some shout outs here. Jared Dixon, much love, man. Homegrown, backwards. Razor City Observer, Make Stupid People Famous. Buzz. Snarky User. Everybody. I appreciate everybody so very much. Y'all are awesome. Appreciate the continued support. Thank you supporting Famously and Leo Watcher. and the rest of the community. You guys are awesome, man. Without you, we wouldn't have this platform. So thank you.
Absolutely. I'm gonna give a shout out to everybody. If you hold a camera and you're out there putting yourself on the line, a lot of people don't understand that aspect of it. Thank you.
Yep.
If you're in the chat when people go live and you're there to witness and be a supporter, or bring some help to the channel, not cause bullshit. Thank you.
Yep.
That's what
Moderators
it's about.
to
We
post
need more
info and
people.
links.
I mean, if you guys
Fucking
need to
A.
learn how to, if you want to learn how to start researching, this is how you learn how to start researching, guys. Who else is going to teach you? This information ain't free. There's people that go to college to be journalists that don't even do this shit. They'll sit over here in these local news organizations and copy and paste fucking CNN. Are you kidding me?
There's
Like,
YouTube channels that claim to do what we do that do that.
they taught you how to copy and paste over there at the journalism classes at the university. Holy fuck. I want to know who your Uber driver and Ruthie's dealer was.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
Have a good one.
Well, guys.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Yep. We'll see you on the next one. It won't be
about.
long. We're going to, we'll, me and Famously and Leo will discuss what we're going to do with the next one and what direction we want to take it. But we're only about halfway through this, guys. So, it's not going to stop. We're going to keep going. And once we're done with this, if we can't find anything else there, which Elkhart, South Bend, Mishawaka, there's lots of shit there. But if we can't find anything else, we'll go to the next town. We're not gonna stop, guys. This is what we're gonna do. Yep.
Right.
All right, guys. Love y'all. We'll catch you on the next one.
You got it.
See ya.